What's up everyone, it's Iceman Oz, aka Jay, and in today's video I got for you guys a discussion on Tom Clancy's The Division. Alongside me I got my buddy Lucas, and we are going to go really in depth, so sit back, relax, enjoy the show, and we're going to go over pretty much our thoughts on the game and some things in the future that they can improve upon, because I do feel like overall that this game has a lot of longevity to it if they add certain features that we will be talking about in this video. So first of all, we're going to talk about changes to the Dark Zone. Now, when this game was promoted, the Dark Zone was really seen as the main thing, right? Whereas going rogue, and that would be the whole premise to it, and it was really interesting, that whole dynamic there. But it really does leave a lot to be desired. So what do you think, Lucas, could be changed to the Dark Zone to really make it more viable and to be a better overall experience?
Well, when it was first released, the game's Dark Zone experience was just punishing. No one went rogue because it was just not worth it in terms of leveling up and in terms of what you've lost. Now, they've already improved that significantly. You do see people going rogue more and more, and as people have gotten used to creating specific builds in like the MMO style is, people are starting to get the hang of it. As for further improvements to the Dark Zone, I believe that it could be quite possible to probably increase the XP you get for killing the AI. Basically because they don't spawn quick enough. There's very set places where they do spawn. If someone's already gone through that area and they've wrecked the place, you could be waiting around for ages for them to respawn. Sometimes and then sometimes you get surrounded by enemies. It's so a little bit of an increase in the AI, possibly not losing experience when you get killed by the AI as well would be ideal. I'd rather you just get punished if you got killed by another player who was rogue. That would be ideal, and giving experience for extracting as well, because that's the most dangerous part about playing the Dark Zone, is when you extract something, you don't get experience for it. You just get the equipment, and the 9 times out of 10, most of the time you've got to compete with other players who you don't know what their intentions are, and you've got to compete. And AI turns up in the fight as well. So I think a bit more beginning experience for extraction, not a great deal, or it could be related to the quality of the items you extract. Who knows? But that for me, probably a little bit of a buff in the experience level would be ideal, just because the best gears, it's a grind fest at the moment, and I think that's probably what's going to put a lot of people off in the long run.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, it is an MMO. They are supposed to be very grindy.
Yeah,
That is the point of them. I do feel like there could be better rewards when it comes to it. A lot of it's just pretty much the same old,
yeah.
depending on your
Those,
level.
yeah.
It's just... I honestly don't really see a point to it in a lot of ways when it comes to like the general loot you get, especially off the AI. It can be super lackluster, and it can be, just a very generic experience.
The drop rate for high end stuff off boss AI is absolutely pathetic.
Yeah,
The amount of Phoenix points you get is shit.
yeah, absolutely.
You know?
It's the Destiny problem. I mean, Destiny had the exact same problem. So I mean, it's. I mean, I think the Division does it better than Destiny, but not by much. So, I mean, that's... I think they could definitely improve upon that. But, I mean, at the same time, you don't want to give away too much, otherwise everyone has the cool shit, right? So, I understand why they try to hold back on stuff, because there has to be something to aspire for.
I'm not sure if this is true, but there's like a no less than 1% chance of getting a high-end item dropped by a boss, and that's just not good enough, considering how long it takes them to respawn as well.
Absolutely not.
Increase it to 5 or 10%, even, so you get a 1 in 9, 1 in 10 chance of getting a high-end item. It may not be the best high-end item, but it's a high-end item.
Right, because a lot of the time, there's just such a gap between, when you're just getting average crap and a high-end item.
Yeah.
It's just...
And it'll make progression for new players in the Dark Zone who haven't got that good equipment to make it just to make them be able to compete a little bit more.
And not only that, it'll add, a unique gap. Maybe some person gets lucky and they have the power advantage. Then all of a sudden you have a power gap, which I think is really important in MMOs. Somewhat, you should be able to outpower your opponents if you work for that or get lucky. I think that is a very important aspect, because everyone's sort of same old levels, and it's just like, what is the point of this? I feel like there's not a big enough gap, because in MMOs that is the point of them, to overpower, to grow, to become more powerful than your adversaries, and it's simply not the case. And I think that's what it's really missing when it comes down to the Dark Zone. But
especially with the MMO element of the game, definitely,
absolutely, and that's what the game's supposed to be. So I mean, when you think about it like that, an MMO RPG style, it's missing that aspect, and that's fairly disappointing. So moving on to the setting of the game, and this really comes down to what we think about the immersion, maybe possible add-ons in the future, because it is set in a real-life place. Maybe they could add some things in the future. What are you thinking about the setting of the game overall?
The setting of the game, when you first look, it isn't really that unique. Post-apocalyptic, collapsed society. However, what it has done is it's done it from a perspective of the rest of the world looking in to what has happened, because you only get a perspective that it's New York. The rest of the world's pretty much okay, from what I can tell from the game. I could be wrong. And what you see is people's perception of looking into what New York has become because of this. I think that's really unique, and although you get a sense that that New York's fucked up, that your character knows the rest of the world is fine, and it's that sense of hope, or that sense of dread, that if this thing goes wrong, the rest of the world's going to follow suit. That's unique. And the fact that they didn't go for the generic, virus turns people into monsters type of thing. They've gone, virus just kills, society collapses because of it, you have to go in and clean shit up.
Right. The only problem with that is, like, I honestly feel like when I'm playing in between missions, there's not that level of immersion. Like, you can't really even talk to people. I would have liked to have seen a Mass Effect style thing where you can choose what you want to say to people, and then it impacts that particular environment. Or if, whenever you see two people fighting, you can choose to break it up. Like, how come when I shoot a civilian in the head, they just stand there and, turn around and look at you? Like, what is that? That just ruins immersion. Like, I just think that's absolutely silly. So they could have absolutely done better with that.
I think it does ruin the immersion, like that you can't interact with the civilians, or the civilians.
But that plays that actually plays into the future, Tom. Sorry to interrupt you there, but like they could update that in the future. If you think about it, they could absolutely make changes to that in the future. That's why I said when we started, like, there's so many things they could add on to this game. If they want to really put considerable development into it, this could be one of the best games around, and it could be lasting 4 or 5 years if they want to. Now, we don't know if there's going to be a sequel to The Division.
Well, I think they're probably better off doing expansions, continue to do expansions rather than doing a sequel. Similar to World of Warcraft, have the base game, have what's already there, and then just add to it going forward. Doing The Division 2 kind of suggests that there's going to be a new setting.
Right, and it would be very tacky considering.
It'll be very tacky. But moving back to interaction with the civilians, the best thing you do is to scan someone and give them a power bar when they don't say fuck all to you. It's just kind of really quite lazy. And the fact I've tried a couple of experiments about trying to shoot civilians. This is how sadistic I am. I shoot towards the person, and as they're running off, I track their movement and fire again. But every single time they stop dead as I fire, so the bullet would not hit them. I think it's really weird how they do that, and how they change direction and stuff.
And it's weird, if they need a power. How come you have to scan to see if they need food or not? Why don't you just go up and ask them? Say, hey, do you need some fucking food? Why do I have to use some sort of like future upgraded technology? Like, I could be like saving the world. I could be like launching myself to the moon, saying like, screw all this the New York shit. I'm getting the fuck to the moon. No, I'm not even asking this bitch. I'm pressing the buttons on my fucking wristwatch. What kind of Klondike bar she needs? Like, what is this?
And then Then you walk past people who were flying on the floor, curled up in a ball due to gut cramps, puking their guts up. Yeah, I'm not going to help you. See you later. Walk away. It's absolutely stupid that someone walks up to you and goes, "Can I have a bottle of water?" You go, "Yeah, sure." Someone's going, "I can't breathe," and you go, "Oh, look, a dog!" Bang.
Yeah, you can shoot the dog but not pay. It's just logic, man. Absolute logic.
Yeah.
So the setting, a lot of immersion is taken away, but that goes into the core gameplay, and this is where I really feel like the game is really genuinely enjoyable. I actually really love the Division in terms of its gameplay, especially how it sets up the co-op aspects and rewards working together and building up together. I think it's really awesome the fact that you can get someone who's like a level 25, which we did, and we went into an area we shouldn't have even been close to being in, and we powered our way through it. Like, that is a really fun, rewarding experience, and it's something that I haven't felt in a long ass time. And that may come down to the fact that I haven't played MMOs in a long time, but I think they genuinely executed it well, and the AIs are really fun to kill, in my personal opinion. I just really enjoy the gameplay aspects, just on so many different levels. The customization, I think, is spot on. I think I think that's the one part where they hit it really well. What could they do to improve it, though? What could we see gameplay wise to improve it in the future when it comes to the customization, the weapons, damage models? What do you think they could do regarding that?
I personally think they've got it spot on with the right amount of customization for each weapon. It doesn't go over the top. I think you've got enough there. I think when it comes to crafting and when it comes to making your own stuff, there's very much of a random RNG element to there. You don't know what you're going to get. So if you're doing a specific build and you want to craft a high-end item, there's no guarantee that you're going to get the stats you want in order to carry on with that build. And I think that's where they need to improve it a little bit more, probably introduce the fact that you could probably attach, say for instance, you're building a backpack, yeah? You need electronics, is it electronics? No, you need tools and you need fabric, right? And you build your backpack. But what happens is you'll get bonuses that your build doesn't want. So perhaps you could use other materials you've collected, high-end materials you've collected, to get specific stats. For instance, a DPS backpack, or a side armor, or electronics backpack, or it'll give you increased bleed effects or increased stun effects, or things like that, which you could tailor your crafting just that little bit more for the build you want to actually do. I think that's something that they could add or could improve on in the game, because it just gets frustrating when you're going, oh, I've got all this really good high-end material, and you look at your stuff and you go, well, there's no guarantee I'm going to produce something that's better than what I've already got. Right. And that's annoying. That's annoying. Right. So weapon customization, I'm pretty much spot on with. Crafting elements, they could improve that considerably. And the cover system can be very annoying at times, particularly if you're not... Many a time I've been looking to get into cover, press space and gone to the wrong cover.
Right, yeah.
I've just dived to the side of a car and I know I'm going, no, I want to freaking go that way. So tracking elements of the cover is a little annoying sometimes, but other than that, I've got no problem with it.
All right. Well, the next part is the weak Endgame. Now, I haven't had too much experience with the Endgame. What are you thinking regarding this? Do you feel like it's lackluster, has a lot left to be desired? That's kind of your thoughts about it, right?
Well, if you go, what MMOs tend to do with Endgame is you have your generic raids or your generic dungeons, as you know, to help you progress through the level, and then Endgame is something unique. Unique boss fights, unique scenarios. Division doesn't do that. It's basically, we'll just increase the level of the difficulty of the bad guys, but you're essentially doing the same raid over and over and over again. The incursions that they're planning on bringing in, I think, in June as a free content update will improve that significantly, because there's a gear level element apparently for that. You need to have specific levels of gear before you can go and do them. Which sounds like high-end raids to me, but there's just not enough there to make the end game enjoyable. To the fact that, oh yeah, sure, it's hard's okay, but challenging is way over the top, and they're not challenging to the effect that the different scenarios. They're challenges that, oh, we just increase damage modifiers. Yeah,
Right.
that's just lazy.
Yeah, it's just,
Yeah,
exactly. It's just lazy design, and they could definitely go about that better. I think it really just comes down to development time when you think about it. If they were going to design that much variance into it, I think that is something that, when it comes down to it, that actually plays into the topic I was actually thinking about, is the future updates to the game. Now, there is so much you could do with the Division when you think about it, like, even like we said, the end game, like you could expand upon that and add more to it, expand the world, expand the weapons, new pickups. There's just so much that you can do with this game.
yeah. I mean, you've
It's just
got the rest
crazy.
of New York. You can go back to Boston. You can go to Queens. You can go to the suburbs. There's all sorts of shit you can do with the actual map itself in the future, if you so wish to. I even think there could be an expansion where they go back a bit and you become part of, and you're a first wave agent. I think that'd be great. Actually, being in the shit from the start would be an interesting way to go. I know it's kind of like a quantum leap type of scenario, but seeing that from the perspective of where the first wave goes bad, I think would be really cool
Be
if
like a
they introduce something.
chaos scenario.
Yeah, a chaos scenario where you are part of the first wave. This Aaron Kenner guy who is the, oh shit, you don't know this. Fuck, I won't say it because you've not got that far. But the first wave agents go bad, which we already know, and it all goes to shit. But being at that point where it all goes to shit would be like, I think, a good expansion to go into. I know it's
Sounds pretty
going
good.
back in the game, but it'll be really cool because I think that's where they missed the trick. That's where they should have started the game,
Right.
um, instead of being this second wave, just being the second division and getting in there.
Well, it's kind of the
I think,
game.
yeah, I know. But as for, well, they've already said like there's the underground element now. In their first expansion, I think it's called Tunnels or something like that, if I believe. So yeah, that's interesting. Again, like I've already said, going into other parts of New York um, would be great as well.
Well, I mean, just more areas. I think when it comes down to it, we just want more stuff in the game. People, and when you think about it, when adding more to the game, I mean, the max rank is 30. Like, you got to increase that. Like, there's got to be more to it. Like, when you think about MMOs, you grind your way for a long ass time. In the Division, you'll spend about 50 hours and you'll probably reach max rank, and that is, even less than that. And
I
that
actually
is
did it less than that. I did it in 30 hours.
yeah, like.
And I had two characters that I got. I got another character up to level 15, and like, so max rank plus level 15 in 30 hours is not too mind boggling, and that's probably where the weak point to the end game comes in. To be perfectly honest, as well.
There's
Going
just
back to
not
the
enough
previous
going
topic.
on. That's just
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah,
I mean, that's what a
yeah.
really good game does, right? They'll leave you wanting more, and that is what fans of the Division want. We want more
Yeah, I want
stuff.
more.
We want more
Yeah.
stuff. I'm looking forward to the future content, and they've got me. You've got me now, so don't disappoint me.
Yeah.
I'm sure that any expansions put on this game will be good as long as they just don't ruin the core experience and
Well,
only
that's what I
add
mean.
on.
That's what I was going to say. Ubisoft have got this. They've got it now. They've got what they want with the Division. They just need to keep adding to it instead of, and it's theirs to fuck up. If it's all on them. Unfortunately, as the publisher and the developer, it's all on them. They know they've got a hit on their hands. They know they've got a potential future franchise or future expansions, and it's down to them to get it right, as it is with every game. But if they've got it right now and they fuck it up, jeez, that's going to be hard.
Yeah, that's going to suck
That's
because
really gonna
it's
be-
been a
that's
while
really
since
gonna
I've had a good game to play. And like The Division is one of those games that I actually look forward to playing and not a game that I just play for the sake of recording it or, whatnot. So I'm a big fan of The Division, and hopefully, they can continue onwards into the future and make it a great experience. But with that being said, leave your thoughts in the comment section below, guys, what you think about The Division, future upgrades they could add to the game. What do you think about the core game right now? Anything we've talked about in this video, leave your thoughts in the comments section below. Be very curious to hear what you guys think. But with that being said, if you enjoyed this video, check out Lucas's channel. It will be in the description below if you want to check it out. But with that
Hell
being
yeah,
said,
baby.
absolutely, hell yeah, he says. Hell yeah. But with that being said, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please like, share, subscribe, and peace.